Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer. Today we're going to talk about how to get a youthful glow. Yes, that's right. I am 35. I'm not old, okay? At least I don't feel like I'm old. But hey, I've had 2 kids. I've lost a lot of sleep in those years. And I've aged some. I have some lines. I have some smile lines here. That's okay. I still want to have that sophisticated youthful glow, and I love creating that. That's kind of my personal style in a lot of ways. I enjoy creating that glow and finding products that will provide that glow for me personally, especially in luxury beauty. That's kind of like my thing. I love luxury beauty. So if you're new here, that's what we're going to talk about. And that's something I personally have a passion for. If you enjoy those types of things, I invite you to subscribe. I'd love to have you here. If you are back, welcome back. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. I feel like the key to a youthful glow, especially at 35, I know I'm not super old by all means, but I did move into the next age bracket. There are things that I see changing within my skin and the needs from a makeup perspective. Maybe I need to wear a little bit more concealer. I have had some sleepless nights because I have 2 kids, you know, those type of things. I feel like skincare is something I rarely skip, hardly ever. I like and enjoy a luxurious skincare routine in the morning, in the evening. I feel like it just makes me just happy. It's just the me time, if that makes sense. Skincare is very important for a youthful glow. I always go in with either a cleanser, or right now I'm going to go in with this cleanser by, I'm going to say BR because I always pronounce the name incorrectly. This cleanser here is like micellar water in a way. I think what I like so much about this cleanser is that it's so hydrating and it doesn't leave my face feeling dry or stripped or anything like that. So I always go in with a cleanser first, just to get all the dirt and grime off my face. So I'm starting with the clean slate. Next, I almost always go in with an acid. I love using an acid. This one in particular by BR is their P50 Pigment 400. I have a lot of pigmentation as a young adult. Tanning beds were a thing. Not wearing sunscreen was a thing. It just was a thing. So I'm trying to combat a lot of that nowadays, unfortunately. So wear your sunscreen. I've never had really any types of procedures done or anything like that. I've never had Botox, fillers, all that. I have nothing against it by all means, but I just personally have never done it myself. Not to say I never will, but you never know, you know? With that being said, I'm really trying to combat the signs of aging and combat those fine lines and wrinkles and pigmentation marks and sun damage from the past with skincare. I think the key to a glowy complexion is hydrating properties within your skincare. Something with a lot of good peptides and hyaluronic acid, good moisturizing agents, as well as hydration to the skin. Me personally, I have dry skin and my skin has gotten drier as I've gotten older and slightly less taut. It's not as tight as it used to be, y'all. So it's just one of those things that I recognize. This is the one that I've been using. It's the Chantecaille Le Serum Bio-Lifting Serum. I really enjoy this. This in particular was gifted. I'll list everything in the description box if it's gifted or not or whatnot, and then I'll also link any of these products if you're interested. Chantecaille calls this a facelift in a bottle, essentially. It's just got some amazing botanical ingredients as well as really great peptides. That is the Anti-Aging Bio-Lifting Serum. I've been trying out this cream by Chantecaille as well. This cream and the oil were gifted. These are 2 that I like to mention because I've been using them and they've been really good for my skin. I personally like this Rose to My cream. It has kind of a gel-like consistency. Although my skin is dry, this actually works for my skin and it clumps it up. I feel like a good moisturizer goes a long way, especially when prepping your skin for a glowy look for the day. And when I say glowy, I mean something that's naturally naturally beautiful and hydrated and almost that glow from within look. I love that look, and I love creating looks like that. I love natural. I really like that. And then I'm going to go in with this Rose de Mai oil. With this, you only need 1 or 2 drops because you don't want to look oily. That's not the goal. The goal is to look hydrated and fresh, youthful. But oils can be very nourishing for the skin, as well as a great base from a makeup perspective. All right, so these are the Sun Silk drops from Kula. I've been really enjoying these. I like them a lot. I have a hard time with sunscreen. I wouldn't say I found the perfect sunscreen yet for me personally. I really want to try the Chantecaille one. I hear amazing things about it, and that it's thin in consistency like this. So if you can see, these are like drops. I like that because I feel like the thicker sunscreens tend to, one, peel, ball up, and not gel with my skincare, whereas these blend just right in. You don't have any issues. I feel like I'm protecting my face. I feel like it's hydrating, yet not too oily or anything like that. Now, sometimes I'll use an eye cream. I didn't use one today, but that's okay. So I've let that sit just a little bit on the skin. I mean, not too long, but just enough to kind of let it set, absorb into the skin some. Now, this is optional. I don't personally use a glowy primer all the time. If you have the right foundation or tinted moisturizer, whatever you want to use, you don't necessarily need a glowy primer, right? With that being said though, I do want to show you this Laneige glowy makeup serum that I've really been enjoying. I just think it's a beautiful serum. It does have diamond specks in it, and it's kind of a jelly consistency, if you can see. And I don't use a lot. I'll just use 2 drops all over my face and then let that set. Now, I'm a big layer girl. I like to layer products. It's so fun for me. I enjoy layering products. A lot of people like to cocktail their products together. I personally like to layer. One of those things that I tend to stay away from is a matte foundation. One, because I have a drier skin type. It just soaks up that foundation, the water within the foundation. It looks super cakey on my skin. 2, I really want my skin to look like skin in a lot of ways, but a little bit of coverage, right? Because I do have these spots on my face from years of sun damage. I want a more flawless complexion. This is an amazing foundation, and I definitely will give it like 5-star review. This is the Traceless Perfecting Foundation. Mine is in 5.7 Dune. I've been using this, guys, and it is an amazing, amazing foundation. I've tried it a few different ways. I've tried it with a brush, but I feel like the best is with your fingers. I know. Hey, this is the mom coming out of me, you guys. I'm like, I need to get ready fast. But I love applying makeup with fingers. I think sometimes they're your best tools. This is what I feel like I've been looking for a long time. Some foundations are too glowy. Some foundations are too dry. Some are just bad. But this, my friends, is so beautiful. It's pricey. I love luxury makeup. One of those things I just love, and it's just fun. I personally feel this is worth the money. Now you can see a little bit of a sheen, but the sheen is not too much. It looks healthy, radiant, youthful, not oily or overdone. It gives just enough coverage, but not too much coverage. It still looks like skin. Kind of see some of the skincare peeking through from before. The primer's kind of seeping through from before, but the finish is so gorgeous and just so pretty. It just makes me so excited to have found something that really is working for me personally. It's just a great foundation that I found, and I was really skeptical to purchase it because it was $88, but y'all, I feel like I just glow from within, you know? Just me, but a little more flawless, right? So next up is powder. I don't use a lot of powder, and the reason I don't use a lot of powder is because I don't like, one, to look like I have a ton of makeup on or look cakey, and 2, I don't have a ton of oil on my skin. Now, if you're someone that does have a ton of oil, then definitely you'll probably need to use powder. But I do know that for me, I felt like there are different powders for different things. And for me, one of the best powders that I've tried is the Dough powder. So the Dough powder gives such a pretty, it's almost like it absorbs just a little bit, but you still see the glow under your skin. That is just the perfect powder for me. Because I don't want something that's going to take away a beautiful looking skin or beautiful looking foundation or anything like that. I use a very small brush too. Right now I'm just going to do my nose. You can tell it just took it down just a notch. We're going to do concealer next, and then we'll go back in with the powder. The concealer itself, I feel like, has really been a game changer for me. I used to not wear a ton of concealer. I still don't, but I really used to not really wear it at all. I have rediscovered my Bobbi Brown corrector in light to medium bisque. You need the smallest amount, like teeny tiny. But what I do is I go in, I have a Bobbi Brown full coverage touch-up brush here. See what it looks like. And I just tap once or twice. I just go right here underneath. And you can see that the actual concealer itself quickly just brightens the under eye area. I'll put a little bit more. There we go. I don't like to put a ton of concealer on. The reason why I don't like to put a ton of concealer on is because I don't want it to crease. I have some fine lines. Yep. Fine lines underneath thighs. And to be frank, with any type of concealer that I've used in the past, it creases. And I think what I was doing, I was using too much concealer and also finding the right one. What I like about the Bobbi Brown one for me is that it is hydrating. It's not cakey. It doesn't look like I have a ton of makeup under my eye. I think that's the key, is trying to find products that look very natural on the skin. And that's kind of what the look I always try to go for, in all honesty. I want to look put together and chic and sophisticated. I want to look my age, 35, with really good skin and a really good chic, sophisticated makeup application. I let that kind of dry down. I don't go in with powder right away because I don't want it to look cakey. And if I do go in with powder, sometimes I won't even go in with powder, because if it moves, you know, and I can go in and pat it in, which for me is somewhat easier. All right, I'm gonna do my eyes off camera, brows, and then we'll do the rest of the face. How about that? So I went ahead and did my eyes and my brows. I'll put everything down of what I used in the description box below, but really wanted to focus on the skin and the dewy complexion this time around. If you'd love for me to do this eye look for you guys in a separate video, I'm happy to. I'd love to. With the skin, I always like to use either a bronzer that is not as matte, that has maybe just a little bit of sheen. I have been really enjoying the Gucci bronzer. Now, this Gucci bronzer is a powder, yet the powder is so finely milled. It goes on so beautifully, and it has a little bit of a sheen to it. And it gives a pretty kind of set, almost look, without being too much, and still the glow from the skincare and the foundation, all the other products shine through. Now with this Gucci bronzer, I'm finding that a more dense brush actually provides a lot more pigment of the product, and therefore gives me a really pretty sheen, a really pretty glow to the face, as well as a kind of bronzy look too. Now you notice I like to only hit the perimeters of my face, and I like to hit, of course, my forehead, and then a little bit on my nose. I kind of like the fact that it's a powder. It allows me to kind of set my makeup without having to use more powder, like setting powder or something like that. It limits the amount of layers of powder you have to put on, which I prefer, and that's kind of a good little trick. You're almost setting your face with a bronzer. So I just kind of roughly went through this T-zone area, a little on the cheeks, just to blend with some pressure on the outer perimeter, and then went in light, because I don't want a lot. I want the glow to still peek through, and you can still tell there's still a glow. I feel like it's all about finding those products that are really going to jive with your skin with the best look for you personally. These work for me, but you know, depending on your skin type and things like that. I still haven't set my concealer, and I don't know that I will. I feel like it looks okay, and it's not really moving around, and it's set in to the point where if I needed to just kind of tap, I could. For blush, I like to use something that's light and real, kind of that flush of color on the cheek. This particular shade is Grace by Chantecaille. This is a Long Love cheek shade of mine. It's got a beautiful sheen to it and gives just the perfect flush on the cheek. And I like a little bit of sheen on the cheeks. It kind of gives a really youthful, kind of pretty glow. Another product that I really like to use is a dewy highlighter. I have a few different types. I'm going to use the Chanel one today. This is the Balm Essential Sculpting Highlighter. I like powder highlighters too, but I have to find the right highlighter that is very mature in sparkle, if that makes sense. I don't like a real chunky glitter all over my face. I prefer something very sophisticated and chic. The product that I really want to use today is this Balm by Chanel. It is a very champagne-y balm here, and the shade is Sculpting. So I take my finger and all I'm going to do is go right here on top. Isn't that beautiful? So I just tap it on. I don't rub it. I tap because I do have makeup underneath it, and I just want it to set and blend on top and into the skin to create almost this really kind of dewy, glossy look. I don't like to put it everywhere because I don't want it to look overdone. I like just a little bit, something like when I move, it just looks beautiful on the skin. That's really what I'm looking for. So that is the highlighter. Very light, subtle glow. Kind of like that glow from within look. Now, I thought what we might do is also just throw on a little bit of the Stanessa Myrix just to kind of show you that you can use powder highlighters and it still look very beautiful and natural. I personally like to use a fan brush. This is a Refer P09B brush, and I think with this I'm going to go in with almost this peachy shade here. It's called Smooth Sailing. So I'm just taking a bit like this and I'm going to tap and then go over that really pretty. So you can tell this does give a little bit more of a glow, but it doesn't accentuate any texture, and I think that's the main thing from kind of being my age that I don't want to accentuate. I don't want to accentuate texture. I don't want to accentuate lines, wrinkles. I don't want stuff to set into my lines or wrinkles. Although I don't have a ton, I have some. I have some on my forehead and then some here. So you can kind of see just that subtle sheen, and it's so pretty. Another thing that I like to do is take the highlighter, and I'm going to go in with this Piece of Cake highlighter here. It's this kind of pink highlighter, and I will go in the inner corner just right there to brighten the eyes and kind of give more of a subtle glow. It really kind of pops your eyes a bit, so when you turn it looks like you don't have a deep set eye. And then another thing too, I'm just going to go right above the lip, and then we'll talk about lips in a minute. So with lips, I just like to take what was left over my concealer brush and run it around my lips so that it creates almost a blank canvas. It's hard to talk and do this at the same time, but almost as though it creates just a blank canvas to put on a lip product. I think I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat. This is in Pillow Talk 2 Medium to line my lips. I feel like the line of the lip really helps me personally because it helps define my lips a little bit more. I'm going to go in with my Pillow Talk 2 Medium shade. I like these lipsticks because they're creamy, yet they're nice. They're not going to settle into a lot of your fine lines or anything like that. I do want to go over it with a gloss because I feel like a gloss can really shine. What I used was the Sisley Lifido Gloss in number 2. I like it because it's got a subtle sheen, a shimmer. It's not chunky. It's really, really pretty and very, very elegant. One last thing. I would suggest setting your makeup. This Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray does that for me personally. It is really, really nice from a setting spray perspective. I just take it and I go all over the face. I let it dry down some, so just let it dry down a little bit because it does give a little bit of a sheen. But what I like about this, it doesn't give too much of a sheen. It still looks natural. And it doesn't look cakey or makeup-y. It looks pretty. All right, y'all, this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this video. So this is how I get the glow, and I just love it. I think it's sophisticated, youthful glow. It's really polished, chic. I just love it. I love this type of look. I hope this was helpful for y'all. These are just products that I personally enjoy using. There are plenty of products out there that would probably do a lot of the same things, but these are just ones that I personally love and personally use. Anywho's, thank you guys so much for watching. Please tell me down in the comments below if there are any tips and tricks you took away from this. I'd really appreciate it if you did. I love to learn from y'all. If y'all have any tips or tricks for me, that would be amazing. Or any products that you personally love, let me know in the comments below as well. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.